Hello, I'm Dr. Crystal Ruff, and this video series is entitled Writing Your Thesis, What You Should Know. Seriously, this will save you weeks of work. So you might be a struggling grad student just wanting to finish and get this out of the way. I know where you are, and I've been there, and trust me, it will end. But here are some tips that I've learned and that have been passed on to me from very wise people throughout the generations on how to format your thesis the smart way. There are certain options that Word has that people don't necessarily know and that you won't get taught in your lab or in your place of education. So these are some tips that can help you manage these long documents and literally will save you weeks of work. Here goes. This video series is compiled into 5 short series, each covering one key aspect of how you can manage this a little bit easier, because it's a gargantuan task and I understand how stressful it is for you right now. Trust me. First of all, I mentioned that this was wisdom passed down to me from very wise women. I would just like to mention them, so thank you to Rachel Ingram Edwards and Marianne Christina Jacobson Simpson for their help and wonderfulness teaching me this wisdom in the first place. And I would like to ask any viewers of this video, please pay this forward. So if you find a toiling grad student who just wants to get this done, please do them the kindness that was done to you, that was done to me. So that said, let's begin. And this is also copyright Crystal Ruff, 2013. To start with, when I started writing my thesis, I did not know what to do. You know, a lot of people start from scratch, so we're going to just establish this very quickly. Here is the structure of my thesis, which passed the first time without incident. So for you, a safe structure, I should say, please, first of all, refer to your school, because a lot of schools have different guidelines, so it's important to establish what yours is. And a lot of schools will also have templates in terms of word styles and formatting. So first thing to do, check your school and check what their stipulations are. My school, my stipulations, my thesis went like this. First of all, you have a title page, declaration, abstract, acknowledgments, table of contents, figures and tables, list of abbreviations, and then you get into the meat of the thesis, introduction, aims, materials and methods, results, discussion, conclusions. And each school will have different stipulations on the length that they want these, so you'll have to consult with your school. Alternatively, some schools will allow you to just collate your papers. A lot of theses can be just compiled manuscripts that have been published, but again, this is something that you'd want to consult with your school. And either way, all of these tips that you're going to learn in this video series will help you with either of these formats. So, next we'll start out with things you should do from the beginning. First of all, you can see up here your list of abbreviations. During this series, I'm going to teach you little tricks in Word and things that Word can do to make your life a little bit easier via hyperlinking and other things that we'll learn about. But currently, to my knowledge, there is no software program that can create a list of abbreviations for you. So unfortunately, you'll need to start from the beginning, and it's a lot easier for you if you just go from the beginning, create your abbreviations, and keep that as a separate document. It's very easy once you have a list of them to sort them. If you look under the paragraph option on Word, you see A to Z. I can highlight at the end once I have 100 or so things that I've put in chronologically. I can highlight it, go to sort, alphabetize by paragraph, ascending or descending depending on what you want, and it will alphabetize it for you. It's an easy function, but make sure that you are keeping proactive with this because it won't do itself. Second of all, this brings me to the next point. So I mentioned keep your list of abbreviations as a separate file. Each chapter should also be a separate file and combine them at the end on the very last day. Word, in all of its blessed wonderfulness, has a lot of options for you, but it currently doesn't have a long documents option that is reliable. So if you try to write your entire thesis on the same Word file, I guarantee you it will crash the computer, it will corrupt your file, and you'll lose your data. So it's very important to keep each chapter as a separate file. You can hyperlink within the chapters, and that's fine. Once you get to the end, you can combine them and then into the large document. And be prepared, this will crash your computer several times, so you need to leave appropriate space. Which brings me to my next. Save, save, save. Like every 10 minutes, save your work, by golly, not just on your computer, on an external hard disk. I guarantee you will lose all of your data at least twice. So it's very important. I got an external hard disk, but since I've written my thesis, other things have come on. Like I would recommend, personally, I use for data backup Just Cloud. They've been very good to me. They have very efficient downloads. You can also use Dropbox, but it's limited in the size that you can save. But also an external hard disk is essential because you will lose your thesis, so please don't lose too much of it. That's been said. Bringing to the end of the thesis, you want to allow 1 full day in your planning to print. I know it doesn't seem a lot, or it doesn't seem like a difficult task, but it will take an entire day. And another thing, when you're printing, it makes sense to, what I ended up doing, and I kind of figured this out, make a note on your final PDF of which pages are color. And you always want to go over your final PDF. I don't know if I have to say this or not. Go over it for accuracy, make sure everything looks the way you want it to look, but make sure that you make notes on a separate page of which pages are color, because you'll find when you go to the printers, black and white pages are 10 cents to print, color pages are $1 to print, or £1 where I was in the UK. So you're going to want to print your color pages and black and white pages separately. A lot of offices have black and white photocopiers. I don't know what you have access to, but keep in mind you're going to want a full day for printing, and keep notes of which pages you're going to need to print in color. Brings us to our next point, shortcuts. This is for people who don't know. You know, everyone has a different experience during their undergrad. I don't know what you've learned or not, but Control-Z. So if I say I highlighted this, I'm pressing Control-Z now, it will undo what happened immediately before. So I highlighted that, I arranged that. Control-Z is your friend. It will undo when you make a mistake. Okay, so that's number 1. Control-F is another key one. In your document, I'm pressing Control-F right now. It brings the Find and Replace key. You can find words. Say I want to find my list of abbreviations. I will search for abbreviations, find next. It's not in my selection. Let's search the remainder of the document. There you go. And it found it up here. So if you're searching for a part of your thesis, or if you want to make sure that you've got a reference, it's really good actually for referencing, because usually your references will start with an open bracket. So it's good to find all of your references. Replacing, very simple. If you want to do like figure to, I don't know, say you have to change an acronym. I use NPCs. Sometimes people use NSPCs. You can find all in the document and replace them all. I don't have any in this document, but it's a very quick and easy fix. You can also specify it to whole words only, matching the case. So if you have some things with a capital letter and some things with a lowercase letter, or some things, genes need to be in italics, whereas proteins are not in italics, you can sort that with the Find and Replace option. So that's Control-F. Control-Enter is another good one. I'm going to press it now. It creates a new page. So it creates this lovely page break if you need to start something on the next page. And I'm Control-Zing right now because I just undid that. If you need a tutorial of this, if you need a refresher, you can find all of these online, but it's really important to know your keyboard shortcuts because you'll need them. Next on our list is saving the table of contents, figures, and table of tables. So if we go back up here, these are 3 important tables in our document. Save those till the end. And we're gonna carry on with our video series, and I'm gonna teach you a little bit more about this. But trust me, you'll want to save these to the end, and I'll teach you a really easy way to generate these with a click of a button. So, boys and girls, this concludes our video number 1 and our lesson number 1. Please tune in at your leisure for lesson number 2, and have a great day.